Lowdown Nation, welcome to episode 33 of the Lowdown with Matt. And tonight we have something a little bit different. We have a bit of an international flavor tonight. I would ask you to welcome with me my guest all the way from Peru, Arturo from the band Candamius. How are you doing, Arturo?
Thank you very much, Matt. Thanks for having me, for giving me this opportunity so I can express my ideas, thoughts on topics related to the band. Um, this is my first interview, so I think it will be funny. So I'm doing well. I'm doing great.
That is great to hear, man. I've like I said before we went live, I've been looking forward to this. So we'll just go ahead and get right into the topics at hand here, and we'll start with kind of the first and most obvious question, and that is, how long have you been playing music?
Well, I started when I was 12 years old. Uh, the first instrument that I learned how to play was the guitar at that time. So I started with the guitar, and few months later, I started with singing to be a vocalist. At that time, I was listening to a lot of grunge music like Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, Nirvana as well. Well, I'm 26 now, so it's
Mhm.
like for 14 years. 14 years I've been into this.
Awesome, awesome. So, at any point, have you taken lessons, or are you pretty much a self-taught musician? How has that gone?
Well, I took several lessons with a teacher when I learned how to play the guitar at that time, like 2 months roughly. And then I just self-taught, just using watching videos on YouTube, trying to learn my favorite songs on the guitar. At that time, well, I was trying to learn songs by the Beatles. I started with Twist and Shout, Let It Be, and then, well, I started to learn on the guitar songs by Nirvana, Alice in Chains, and all of that. So, in the case of the guitar, but well, I am a bassist as well.
Hmm.
And concerning to the bass, I'm a self-taught. I did it on my own. I started when I was 14 years old, and I started to be a bassist. But I remember that I don't know why, but I felt at that time when I was in several bands, I felt that the music or the songs that we were playing, the bass was not the principal instrument, or I was something on the background. So I ended up like abandoning the instrument like 5 years, and I
Hmm.
returned when I was um, 19 years old. I started again with the bass because I listened to Tool and I said, I want to do
Yeah,
some. I
yeah.
listened.
Justin Chancellor.
Yeah, no, great bassist, great bassist. I listened to Tool and I said, no, I want to do something like this. I want to do bass lines like this. And I started again, and well, I'm now a bassist.
Very cool. Well, as far as your bass playing goes, um, are you a fingerstyle player, or do you use a pick, or is it situational?
Well, that's a good question. When I started playing bass, I was using fingerstyle because
Hmm.
it's a very well-known technique when you are playing bass. But then I switched to use a pick when I am playing bass because I feel that the instrument got more like kind of an attack, or the sound is more chunky. So if I gotta choose, I will prefer to use a pick. And the reason why is because most of the my favorite bassists of all time, all of them use a pick, like Justin Chancellor, Paul
Mm-hmm.
McCartney, Greg Lake from Emerson, Lake and Palmer as well. All of them uses a pick, are using a pick. So I prefer to use that technique when I am playing the instrument.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah. I'm a converted guitarist. I've played guitar the better part of my life off and on, and I've been playing bass for I guess about 4 years now. And you know, I've I'm trying to incorporate some fingerstyle into my playing, but I'm so used to having a pick in my hand that it just does not feel natural. So,
I
so I'm
agree
I'm
with
I'm
you.
I'm pretty much a pick player as far as my bass goes. So
I agree with you. You know, when I I don't feel the bass that way. I feel the bass with a pick, like the sound, the vibes. Uh, I don't feel the bass using fingerstyle, so I prefer to use a pick, as you said.
gotcha, gotcha. So tell me about your current gear and your live setup. What do you play? What do you play through? Any effects or pedal boards? Anything like that?
Well, in my current gear, I have I got an Ibanez TCR 200 TR. Uh, Pretty cool, very good. Got a very good sound. Um, I got an amplifier as well, a Sound King amplifier. But I think that I haven't taken a time to try to improve my gear. It's like I don't have at the moment like pedal boards or pedals like a chorus pedal or a distortion pedal, and I think is due to the fact that currently I am focused on songwriting, like writing the bass lines, even though I got the sounds in my mind, what I'm trying to project with the instrument. um, I would like to improve my gear, to be honest. As soon as I am playing in a live show, got several pedal boards and all of that.
Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Ibanez guitars in general. I've got an Ibanez 5 string bass that I just adore. I mean, that thing plays like a dream, and it is surprisingly light. I mean,
Yeah,
when I first picked it up, I was like, is something wrong with this guitar? It is so light, you know. But I'm a big Ibanez guy. I absolutely love Ibanez.
yes. I don't think that I will switch to another bass, to be honest. I think that I will stay with Ibanez as well. It has a
Hmm.
great sound. It's light, as you said, and very versatile as well.
Absolutely. So, as far as bass goes, do you have a preference yourself between 4 string and 5 string, or even greater string count basses?
Well, currently my bass is 4 strings, but in the future, I think that the most probable is that I will switch to a 5 string bass or even six, because I want to try new things, like kind of an experiment in songwriting. So the most probable is that I will buy a 5 strings bass, but by now I got a 4 string
Gotcha,
bass.
gotcha. So, I always ask this to my guests that are bass players, just because I find the question kind of funny, and that is, how often do you change strings?
Well, that's a good question because the strings are not cheap at all. In
Exactly. Yeah, that's part of the reason I think it's a funny question. Is you practically have to sell your soul uh, to restring your bass. I mean, they are bass strings are not cheap, like you said.
Yeah, well, that's a good question. I think that perhaps like 7 or 8 months, I will make the decision to to change the strings. Or if I want to record something in the studio, definitely I have to change all the strings. Or for instance, for if I want to do a promotional video, for instance, like for a visitor, I changed all the strings. But yeah, it's kind of difficult to buy bass strings because are too expensive in my opinion.
No, I completely agree. Completely agree. So, Arturo, you mentioned some of the grunge bands, Nirvana, Alice in Chains. Um, Aside from grunge, what are some of your other musical influences?
That's a good question. Well, there are several bands like the Beatles, for instance, Badfinger, Electrolyte Orchestra, artists that comes from metal as well, like Metallica, Celtic Frost, Entombed, Meshuggah. I got several influences in rock. Well, that comes from rock music and metal music. It's like I like the harmonies, the melodies of rock music, but I like the sound that is very aggressive from metal, the drums, all of that.
Hmm. I know that a lot of people I don't think are aware of this, but I know that metal is very big in South America. Um,
Yeah, it is.
yeah, there is a huge metal community down there. So
No, there is a. You're right. There is a huge metal community, but it's not very well known worldwide. I don't know why, but it's
it'll
huge.
it'll get there, you know.
Yeah,
Um, so what was the very first concert that you went to as a fan?
I went to my first concert um, when I was 12 or 13. I went to the concert of Green Day here in Peru. They
Oh,
played,
cool.
yeah, they played in a stadium. It was a great show. I really liked it. Was a was a new experience at that time.
Definitely, definitely. So, over the course of your musical career so far, have you had a chance to meet any of your musical heroes?
No, unfortunately not. Not at this point, but I don't know. I would definitely would like to meet at least one of my musical heroes.
Definitely, definitely. So we're actually going to be in the next part of this getting more into the topic of the band. And what I wanted to do for people that aren't familiar with Candamius, I found a couple of short clips, and I'm going to share my screen and actually play a couple of clips that I found just so people can get a taste of what you guys do.
Oh,
So,
cool.
yeah. So let me.
Tonight is my time. I'm going to survive. Your hate has been vast. Now is a shapeless. She has a rough life. So vile, so juvenile.
So anyway, like I said, I just wanted to give people a little taste of what you guys do. Really like the sound. I especially on that second video, you've got a really nice bass tone.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's very inspired by the tone by Tool. Well, the
Mm-hmm.
one and inspired by the tone, well, especially in the distortion part, by the tone of the bassist of Celtic Frost as well.
Nice. Were the vocals, was that you?
Yeah, I'm the singer as well.
Wow. You've got a really nice voice.
Thank
So
you. Thank you very much.
yeah, I'm definitely really impressed. I think you guys have a bright future. So tell me about Candamius. How long have you guys been together? How did the band form? Where did the name come from? You know, things like that.
Yeah. Well, I met David in 2018, and at that time I wrote on my own patient friend, but well, I I wrote. Well, he wrote to me on, I think that was on Facebook, to ask me about a pick or something like that. And then I thought, well, who's this guy? So I started to I entered to his profile on Instagram, and I realized that he was playing good stuff of Pantera, Suffocation, stuff related to extreme metal, but sounded good for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I told him like, hey man, I got I got a project, I got a song that is very the song has several influences. I don't know if you're interested in joining the project. And he told me, yeah, man, sounds interesting. So he listened to the song, and immediately he agreed to join the project. Um, but we didn't have a name at that time. So one time, um, I was at university, and at that day we didn't plan to meet one to each other. So I came across him. I came across David, and he told me, "Hey man, why do you want to launch something?" I said, "Oh, okay." So we were in a conversation. Like the topic was the weirdest dreams that we ever had. So I remembered that I had a dream where a friend of mine came to my house. I was like the bug in the yard, I think. And he came to my house and told me, "You are Candamius." And he left. He left. I woke up, and I think, when I thought at that moment, well, Candamius? I don't know what that word means. So immediately I searched the word on the internet, like kind of trying to find any information. And I realized that the word exists indeed. It's a word, it's a god of the Asturians, the sound of Spain, that is related to thunder shining. And well, I liked the meaning, so I told him we can put the name for the band like Candamius, and I think he agreed it, so we put that name.
Very cool. Well, I was noticing in the chat, Wilmer Arturo posted on your on the Facebook chat, congratulations, Candamius. And then a Rick Haith says, patient friend is amazing. So
Thank you guys, thank you very much.
let's see here. So So as with you being the bass player and vocalist, and are you doing the guitars as well, or
Good question. Well, as I said, I wrote Patient Friend on my own,
mhm.
and then David joined to the project. And well, in 2020, or yeah, in 2020 or 2021, I wrote on my own Visitor as well. I wrote the
Mhm.
guitars, the bass, all this, the whole song, like the lyrics. But now the rest of the songs that we want to publish for the album is more like something that is collaborative, like
Mhm.
between David and I. We want to do something more collaborative rather than me like being a primary writer.
Gotcha. So what instruments does David play?
He plays guitar. He plays the guitar.
Okay, got you, got you. Okay, so um, Candamius, I'm presuming at this point is not a full-time thing. So what is your day job, so to speak?
Yeah. Well, I studied law at university. I just finished my career, well, in the last year. I also manage a musical store. I manage a musical store, and I like to teach how to play the guitar, the bass, the piano. And I'm currently studying to be a bartender, so I work as a bartender as well. So I have like several jobs to earn some money.
Gotcha, gotcha. So what is the most interesting experience that you have had playing live?
Well, with Candamius, we haven't played in a live show by now because, well, we are focused on the debut album. But definitely, I want to play in a live show as soon as we publish that album. But in my personal experience, like I got several experiences playing a live show. I don't know, and I think that sometimes you learn something new in every single live show. I remember that when I went to my first gig, was like 13, something like that. I was only the vocalist in my first band.
Hmm.
It was my first concert. So we were playing "Smells Like Teen Spirit" was the final
Hmm.
song in the live show, and out of the sudden, happened like a blackout, where the lights, anything. And I was like, well, what I'm gonna do now is like I stay here and I stare to the other to the other members of the group. What are we gonna do now? And fortunately, the lights came back on, and the audience was like more energetic than ever. And I said, well, we gotta play again the song, and we played again "Smells Like Teen Spirit," and we finished the show. And it's like, no matter what happened, you have to finish the show. That's it.
Yep, the show must go on.
The
Yep,
show must go on. That's right. I
yep.
agree.
That was
Um, yeah,
that was kind of like how we started tonight with the technical problems. The show
yeah,
went on. I mean,
yeah, because I don't know. Sometimes, do you have all the stuff prepared? You're already prepared for something,
oh
and
yeah,
there is an issue. But as you
yep,
said, the show must go on.
yep, absolutely, absolutely. So, where in Peru are you located? Are you near Lima or?
Yeah, I'm located in a city that is in the southern part of Peru. It's called Ica. I'm
Okay.
located here. It's a very touristic city. It's
Mhm.
like there are several attractions for visitors.
Got you. So, what is your favorite thing about Ica?
My favorite thing about Ica, well, as I mentioned, there are several attractions like the Huacachina Oasis, like there's a lagoon, dunes. It's a city that is very calm most of the time. There's an interesting scene, local scene of rock music,
Hmm.
and I feel comfortable making my stuff, my own music here.
Very cool. Very cool. So, what is your favorite Candamius song to play? I mean, I know you guys really haven't done a live show yet, but just as far as just doing run throughs of your songs, what is your favorite Candamius song to play?
Well, that's a good question. I like both songs like that we have published. I like Patient Friend and Visitor. But if I gotta choose one song to perform, uh, I would choose Patient Friend. I would choose Patient Friend because I feel that it's more suitable to play in a live show, like kind of giving to the audience the opportunity to interact with you when you're playing the song. So I would choose that one.
Got you. Got you. So you're still a pretty young guy, Arturo, but knowing everything that you know now, um, if you could give any advice to your younger self, if you could tell your younger self something, what would it be?
That's a good question. It would be something like this. It would be like if you're struggling or with something, or you're going through a bad moment concerning the musical career. Um, I think that the most important thing is try to hold on, try to overcome that bad moment and be very patient because you will have your moment like this. Well, I don't know. I really appreciate. I'm really glad to be here. To be honest, I'm really glad to be here. So if I have to talk with myself like a younger self, I would say that like, hold on, man. Yeah, your moment will come soon.
Yep. Wise words.
Thank you.
So, I'm definitely, listening to the songs that you guys have put out so far. I'm obviously seeing a lot of prog influence, and I'm a huge Dream Theater fan, and
Yeah,
and being a bass player, John Mayung is just that guy
it's a
is just
great.
out of this. He's just out of this world. I mean,
No, it's a great bassist. It's a definitely great bassist. Very technical.
yeah, I mean, all of those guys are just amazing, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen now that Mike Portnoy is back in the band, because he wrote a lot of the lyrics for their earlier stuff. So I'm really excited to see what's coming.
Yeah, I just like that happened like four, no, I don't know if 4 or 5 months ago, but I think that the return of Portnoy to Dream Theater will change even the songwriting definitely in Dream Theater.
Yeah, yeah. Um, So, something that we have done in all of these, and it's just been something kind of fun, is we have let a current guest basically pose a question for a future guest. So one of my previous guests, a guy named Chris Cassine, who he's the bass player for a band out in Kansas City, Kansas, called Scarlet View. He posted this question, and that is, if you were stranded on a desert island and could only have one instrument, and I mean, we're talking about a desert island, but we'll just say for the purposes of the question that you could have electricity and such. But if you could only have one instrument for the rest of your life, what would it be?
That's a good and difficult question because, to be honest, because I play several instruments, so I would have to choose one. I think that it would be the guitar because was the first instrument that I learned how to play it, and I got a lot of memories with that instrument. I can also sing along with the guitar, so that would be my instrument.
Got you. Well, since this is a series, is there a question that you would like to ask the next musical guest on the show? If you can't think of anything at the moment, you can get back to me with a question. You don't have to come up with something right at this moment, but.
All right. A question for the next guest. I got a question. I got a question. I could say, I could tell you a question. It's like, if you had to choose, like, to bring one of your musical heroes back to life, who would it be?
Oh, that's a good question. I like that. How would you answer that question? Who would you bring back to life?
I would bring back to life. I think that I would bring back to life Kurt Cobain from Nirvana. That's the musical hero I would choose because, I don't know, I think, to be honest, that his death really changed the scene, that era. It's like, I don't know, I would choose him, like trying to bring him back to life.
Gotcha. So we'll just play an interesting question here. We'll go down a little bit of a rabbit hole here. Do you think Kurt Cobain committed suicide, or do you think Courtney Love killed him?
Good question. Well, I have watched several, like, documentaries. Like, I've read some books on that topic, and I'm in doubt, to be honest. It's like I'm 50-50. It's like, on one hand, he was really depressed.
Yeah,
he was really depressed with drugs and all of that. But on the other hand, I don't know. It's like, what's out of the sudden, out of the blue? Anyway.
Yeah. I don't think we'll ever know. I mean, but
unfortunately.
But I do think there's enough doubt that it's an interesting question, and it's a fun topic to sort of go down the rabbit hole with.
No, it is. It's a good question, and it's not easy to answer because it's like you will be always in doubt with that question.
Yeah. Yep. One of the great mysteries of the world.
Yeah, in rock music in general.
Yep. So tell me a bit about you mentioned that you're really focusing on working on the album. Tell me a bit about the album. What's coming? When do you expect it to be complete? Let's
Yeah.
give us the scoop.
Yeah. Well, currently we are perfecting the rest of the songs for the album. There are other influences are that we want to incorporate. For instance, I am listening to a band from Great Britain that is called Hacken. It's a British progressive metal band, really good. I've been listening to recently a band that is well known, but I'm discovering it. It is a perfect circle as well.
Oh yeah.
Good band. So, well, David is also listening to good stuff as well. So we are blending those new influences to try, and are trying to create our own sound. We are trying to create a distinctive sound, and I think that we will have we will finish the album perhaps I will, because I will perhaps at the beginning of the next year, perhaps.
Nice. So are you recording at a studio, or is it like a home recording effort? How is that going?
Oh yeah, it's a home studio here in our locality. The producer uses a program like Studio One, very useful. And but also we are working with a guy who is making the mix, or is mixing, and another guy who is in charge with the mastering.
Got you. So we're getting toward the end of this now. So is there anything else that you want to talk about? Any upcoming events? Any possibility of any Candamius shows coming up or anything like that?
Well, I would like to talk about that. We're perfecting the songs, and as soon as we feel that the songs are finished, we will go to the studio. We will record those songs, and we want to play in a live show. Definitely, we want to play to our audience that you guys are great. You are giving us all your support. So I'm very grateful for that. Thank you.
Cesar Astorga on your Facebook says great band.
Thank you.
Let's see here. But anyway, like I said, we're pretty much at the end of things now. But Arturo, thank you for your time. This has really been a great conversation. And like I said, I'm definitely excited to see what the future is going to hold for Candamius. I predict bright, definitely a bright future for this band.
Thank you very much, Matt. I really liked this conversation. As I said, this is my first interview, so I will recall this for the rest of my life.
Looking at the chat over in Instagram, actually a band that's been on here previously called Tricord. They're actually from here in Georgia. They're saying they hope to go to Peru soon.
I hope so.
And actually, JT, who is the guitarist from a band here in Atlanta called Death Blender, is saying, love what I heard on Instagram, very talented. And my wife actually filled him in that that they are actually based in Peru. So yeah, my wife kind of helps moderate the chat room, so to speak. Couldn't do all this without her. But anyway, for those of you that have been watching this live, thank you. For those of you that'll be seeing this in replays, thank you for that. If you like what we've got going here, continue to spread the word. All of this is really taking off and really gaining a lot of traction. And, anymore, I just feel like I'm kind of along for the ride, and I'm just excited to see where this is going. Anyway, so like I said, thank you, Arturo. Any final words?
Thank you, Matt. Thank you for this amazing conversation, and hope to see you soon.
Absolutely. I'm glad that that I could be your first interview. I mean, that's pretty neat. Someday when Candamius is at the top of the prog metal world, I can say I was the first interview. So that's pretty neat.
Thank you for your kind word.
And so I will be. I'll be back actually on Thursday night with an episode of the Throwdown with Matt, which is my professional wrestling related show. And Thursday night, I've actually got an indie wrestler from here in Georgia he wears a mask and goes by the persona Charlie Kills, the horror icon. So it'll be that'll be an interesting conversation and one not to be missed. So, like I said, everybody have a wonderful night. Be safe, and I'll see you back here Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern.